Happy Friday Eve, everyone. Thanks for joining Leadership Forward tonight. We are excited to have you here. It is Third Thursday, and it is time for us to be encouraged and educated. So we appreciate you joining us on this Third Thursday. Leadership Forward title for tonight is Effective Communication Through Art and Design. So if you have been following us this year, you notice that we've had a couple of communication webinars this year. And why is that? Because communication is key. We communicate with God, we communicate with each other, and as leaders, we have to communicate our vision. And we know oftentimes that our vision comes to us as a picture, and then we have to learn how to communicate it to others. So tonight we're going to jump in and see what effective communication looks like through art and design. So I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited to be here, and I'm super excited to learn. All right, as you're getting situated and chiming in, I am going to bring on Ontonio Christie. Awesome. Antonio, are you ready to get this party started tonight? Are you going to step on our toes, or are we just going to learn? Which one?
We're just going to learn tonight. Well,
okay.
Maybe a little bit of stepping on toes.
Okay.
The preacher in me, is going to do that. So let's see what happens. It's all in good love, though.
We're ready. I know that you're going to introduce yourself and tell more of your story while you're presenting, but I just want to say to people that Ontonio is not only a colleague, but he's also a friend. We met, it's been some years, like 10 years or so, at Columbia Theological Seminary. So he and his wife have become friends, family, as people say. So it was God sent for us to meet. And I thank you for the work that you've done over the years in not only doing the work, but teaching at the same time. So I'm excited to hear what you say tonight. I have my notebook, I got my phone, I got my pen. So is everybody ready? Because I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. I'm going to share my screen real quick. All right, welcome to tonight's Leadership Forward webinar on effective communication through the use of art and design. It is with immense gratitude that I extend my thanks to SBC 21 for this opportunity to share my passion and extensive expertise in this area. Greetings to all. My name is Ontonio Christie, and in my life, I wear a lot of hats. I am a devoted husband, a father, an artist, and most recently, I wear the hat of a design consultant. As I sit before you today, I carry with me the rich heritage of 3 generations of pastors on the beautiful island of Jamaica, my birthplace. From a young age, the language of art resonated with me effortlessly, almost as if it were ingrained within my very being. In those days during the lengthy 2-hour sermons at church, I would discreetly bring my sketch pad and let my creativity flourish. Although this was frowned upon, I couldn't help but express myself visually. But such is the life of a pastor's kid, where every eyes is on you, watchfully. As a natural introvert, I quickly realized that the pastoral path wasn't my calling. At least that's what I thought. And I struggled to find a place for visual artists like myself within the traditional church setting. Consequently, I chose to pursue art as my vocation. I went to college where I studied visual communication. I went to college where I majored in visual communication and fine arts, honing my skills and nurturing my innate artistic abilities. And these are a few of my art Um, and they range from different years. Few of my graphic design. Anyway, let's continue. More than 18 years ago, destiny led me to the United States, where I married my childhood sweetheart, Kadeen. Our story is intertwined from the very beginning, as both of our parents, who were strangers at the time, shared a hospital room while giving birth to us. But that's a tale for another time. You can read our story. I met my husband in the maternity ward in the New York Times. Today, Katie and I are blessed with 3 exceptional children who bring immeasurable joy to our lives. Zariah, our eldest, who just completed her first year in college. Zahara, our second child, who is about to embark on her senior year. Markley, our youngest, a rising high schooler. Shortly after her marriage, and our children arrived, I felt the nudge to go to seminary. Without hesitation, we sold our house, packed up our belongings, and embarked on a transformative journey. Crossing the Florida border, we arrived at Columbia Theological Seminary, as Candi just mentioned, in Decatur, ready to embrace a new chapter in our lives. Because that is what you do, right? When you hear the call, you make this big life-changing decision. In my very first encounter with my advisor in seminary, I candidly declare my identity as an artist and my burning desire to merge art with my ministry. To my surprise, I was informed that that avenue had not been explored within the curriculum. However, undeterred by this relationship, I resolved to chart my own path, guided by faith and fueled by determination. And so through my ministry, I birthed transformative programs that seamlessly intertwine spirituality and creativity. One such program, Creative Word, emerged as a unique Bible study experience that artfully blended the power of visual expression to the profound wisdom of scriptures. In these gatherings, we embark on a journey of exploration, delving into the sacred text and unearthing hidden treasures within their pages. But we did not stop there. We did not stop at mere words. We transcended the limitation of traditional study by visually expressing our reflection through the use of art, capturing the essence of the scripture. Through this fusion, we foster a deeper understanding of the divine message and forge a profound connection with our spiritual selves. At the end of the study, participants host an art exhibit to showcase their body of work. We even auctioned some of the pieces to keep the class going. I also started a music and theology class. Music, Culture, and the Bible, which offers a fascinating exploration into the influence of the Bible on popular music and music videos, as well as the visual interpretation. As you can see, this one was held off campus at a restaurant, which made for a very intimate space. So that's something you can definitely take with you to make sure you bring the church into the community. This class delved deeply into the intricate connection between biblical themes, symbolism, and the artistic expression found in the realm of contemporary music. Last year, I made a life-changing decision and walked away from my position as an associate pastor in a large membership United Methodist Church. It was a leap of faith. While my role within the church had been fulfilling in many ways, I sensed that there was something more I needed to explore. Deep inside, I felt an undeniable calling to return to my true passion, designing and creating art. For me, art has always been a profound language through which I can express myself and connect with others. It is a form of communication that goes beyond words, reaching into the depths of the human soul. In today's fast-paced and visually driven world, the ability to effectively communicate ideas, message, and concepts is more important than ever. Tonight, whether you're a pastor, a speaker, a business professional, a marketer, a designer, or simply someone interested in enhancing your communication skills, I hope this presentation will provide you with valuable insights and practical strategies to harness the power of art and design to captivate and engage your audience. My goal is to inspire you to seek new ways to tell your story, to seek new ways to communicate by harnessing your creativity, your creative language, and helping others to see the world beyond words. I'm going to ask you to do an exercise with me real quick. I want you to take a look at this image. When you look at this image, what strikes you? How does it make you feel? What colors are you drawn to? If you were to add sound and movement alongside this image, what would you hear? How would you move? You have just tapped into your creative language, a path into your deeper self, allowing you to access your story, your truth, your voice. Your subconscious becoming evident through color, design, and images, sounds, and even movements. That's why creativity is a language that moves us beyond words. Creativity can help us have deep and meaningful conversations without even saying a word. Conversations of joy and celebration, sadness and loss, deep introspection, or even provide a way to be more fully seen. The powerful thing is, it is the same piece of art, but we all have different interpretation, a different story. Even the artists have a different interpretation. Art ignites emotion, or emotions that even words sometimes cannot. It is a language that moves us beyond words. In the early church, art played a significant role in communicating and expressing the beliefs and teachings of the Christian faith. With limited access to written materials and the diverse congregation with varying levels of literacy, art became a powerful medium to convey religious concepts and stories. Iconography in particular emerged as a prominent form of artistic expression, depicting scenes from the life of Christ, biblical narratives, and saints. These icons serve as visual aids for worship, allowing believers to engage with the sacred stories and figures, deepening their understanding and devotion. The use of vibrant colors, intricate details, and symbolic imagery in these art foster a spiritual connection, create an immersive and awe-inspiring environment within churches. Through art, the early church successfully communicated and preserved its teachings, evoking emotions, inspiring devotion, and fostering a sense of communal worship. I'm always impressed and inspired when I travel to places like Italy and see the vastness of the art in churches. I am yet to figure out when the shift happened, where we move away from art and focus more on the spoken word. It makes me wonder what our visual expression would look like today in our churches. Would it be acceptable as sacred art? Since we're so used to seeing Eurocentric art in churches. I think there's a lot there to consider. What I do know is that if the images in churches resembled me, I would have been a lot more engaged. I may have even left my sketchpad at home. Using modern art in the church can be a unique and powerful way to communicate various messages and engage congregation in new, thought-provoking ways. Modern art often challenges the traditional notion of art and opens up new avenues for expression and interpretation. Take, for example, these pieces. These art presents unconventional and abstract ideas, pushing viewers to think beyond the obvious and explore different perspectives. It encourages people to question preconceived notions and expand their understanding of the world. Take a look at these two pieces of art. What do you see? It probably looked like a drive-by scene, something gang-related. On this side, it looks like a mom holding her son. Would you consider these sacred art? Now take a look at these interpretations of the same scripture. You see, we're trained to see these as sacred. But these we probably question. And that's the power of art. Different artists, same interpretation. Modern art has the power to evoke strong emotions and provoke intellectual engagement. By utilizing innovative techniques symbolism, and thought-provoking themes. It can inspire viewers to reflect on their own experience and ideas, sparking deep personal connections and conversation. It encourages viewers to actively participate in the interpretation of artwork, sparking meaningful conversation, and offering a platform for exploration and self-reflection. Now, let's look at some ideas of how we can use art in our churches. Instead of traditional spoken sermons, modern art installation can serve as visual sermons. Artwork can be created or curated to explore biblical themes, spiritual concepts, or contemporary issues related to the congregation. These visual sermons can be displayed in the church or projected in screens during worship services, allowing attendees to reflect on the messages conveyed through the art. And this is a wonderful opportunity for the local artists in your congregation or in your community to showcase their talent. Art exhibitions, organizing. I always wonder about church fellowship hall, which you probably use once a week or twice a week. I find it to be a great space to hang art. Organize art exhibitions within your church premises. Doing this can be inviting to local artists, both Christian and non-Christian, to showcase their work, because then they feel like they're a part of. The artwork can be curated around a specific theme, such as faith, hope, social justice, or creating an opportunity for dialogue and reflection. Accompanying events like artist talks or workshops can further deepen the engagement. Prayer station. Create interactive prayer stations that incorporate modern art elements. For example, you can set up stations where individuals can engage with various art forms like painting, sculpture, or mixed media as a way to express their prayers, meditation, or spiritual reflection. This can encourage a more tactile, experimental approach to prayer, allowing participants to engage their senses and emotions. Environmental installation. Modern art installation can be used to transform the physical space of the church and create immersive experience. Large-scale installation or multimedia displays can be set up to represent biblical narratives, symbolize spiritual concepts, or address contemporary issues. Community engagement. You can use modern artism as means to connect with the wider community. Collaborate with local artists to create a mural or public art installation that convey messages of love, peace, and hope. And art therapy, which is getting more and more popular. Modern art can also be integrated into art therapy programs or workshops conducted within the church. These programs can serve as therapeutic outlet for individuals facing emotional or psychological challenges, helping them explore and express their feelings through artistic expressions. Of course, I know that some individuals have visual impairments and therefore may not be able to see these art. But I know of many museums and galleries that offer audio presentation so that works can be appreciated by all. Let's move on to design. Design plays a crucial role in conveying messages effectively to an audience, whether it's through visual elements, typography, layout, or overall aesthetic. Design can significantly enhance the impact and clarity of communication. I've worked at the church long enough to know that everybody wants to be a designer, and church have the worst branding. And that's a pride that's going to need a lot of praying and coming to Jesus. By carefully selecting visual elements, photographs, colors, and typography, designs can influence the emotional response and perception of any message. This connection enhances engagement and facilitates effective communication. Today, I'll touch on three important elements of design. One is typography. Different font styles and typographic elements can influence and evoke certain emotions, perceptions, and behaviors in individuals. Typography plays a crucial role in various areas, including advertising, graphic design, branding, user experience, and communication. Serif fonts such as Times New Roman are often associated with tradition, formality, and reliability. Sans serif fonts like Arial or Helvetica convey a sense of modernity and simplicity, and even cleanliness. Script fonts can evoke elegance and sophistication, while bold, heavy fonts can suggest strength and power. Typography can evoke specific emotions and set the tone of message or design. For example, fear, agitated, anger, happy. Those fonts seem to look like exactly what they are. The next element is colors. Studies have shown that colors can affect human emotions, behaviors, and perceptions. While the perception of color can be subjective and influenced by individual experiences and cultural backgrounds, certain colors have been found to evoke some common psychological response across different societies. Red is often associated with strong emotions such as passion, love, and anger. It can increase heart rate and stimulate appetite. Red is also associated with experiment and can grab attention, which is why it's often used in advertising and caution signs. Blue is often linked to feelings of calmness, tranquility, and serenity. Blue is known to be soothing and is often associated with water and the sky. It can also represent trust, reliability, and professionalism, which is why it is commonly used by business. Yellow is often associated with happiness, energy, and optimism. Yellow can be attention-grabbing and is often used to signify caution or warning. It is also associated with creativity and can stimulate mental activity. Green is commonly associated with nature, growth, and harmony. Green has a calming effect and is often used to represent environmental concerns and sustainability. It can also symbolize fertility and prosperity. Orange is often associated with enthusiasm, excitement, and warmth. Orange can stimulate appetite and is often used in food-related industries. It is also considered an energetic and youthful color. Purple. Purple is often associated with luxury, royalty, and creativity. Purple has a sense of mystery and is often used to represent spirituality and imagination. It can also be seen as a color of wisdom and dignity. The next element of design is photography. Photography has the power to evoke emotions and convey messages. Photographers often strive to capture and communicate specific feelings through their images. Photographs enable us to communicate narratives, convey messages, and raise awareness about various subjects. For example, visual elements such as composition, lighting, and framing contribute to the effectiveness of storytelling through photography. Analyzing and understanding the visual elements in photography can enhance one's ability to appreciate and create compelling images. When all these elements are combined, messages are communicated more effectively and achieve their desired outcomes. Effective communication through design is a continuous process that requires ongoing evaluation, adaptation, and a deep understanding of your audience. By considering their needs and preferences, you can create design that effectively engage and communicate your message to the intended audience. Here are a few more ways of use design. These are sermon slides. Free tools. If you're the type to do it yourself, here are some free tools that you can actually use to create your own design. And you can just take a screenshot of this so you can have it. You can also go to any one of these websites, Unsplash, to find free stock photos that can help you get your message across. I hope this was insightful for you. I hope you will walk away from here tonight and tap into your creative self. I hope you will recognize those artists in your church or community and find ways to collaborate with them. I hope you will give an artist a chance to speak to your audience, or give art a chance to speak with your audience. Whether it be through murals or installation at your church, community art exhibit in your fellowship hall, inviting an artist to paint while you preach, or a simple social media post that goes beyond words. I hope you will allow art to speak.
Antonio, that was great. That was very insightful. And I want to give everyone an opportunity to ask questions. And while people are dropping questions or comments in the chat, if you'll stop sharing your screen for a second.
Yes.
I'm going to ask Dr. Bowie if he wants to jump on with us as well. And just kind of have some dialogue about what you said. It was,
man, it's some good stuff. I want to buy some pieces, but I was like,
right.
God, this is good
I
stuff.
kept thinking about what you said about see the world beyond words.
Yeah.
And I know you and I have connected through ministry, but also connected because we do ministry in a different way.
Mhm.
And we're both creatives. You make my thoughts come to life, and I vision in a lot of colors. And
Absolutely.
I love the saying to see the world beyond words. And I don't think in a traditional setting, and I would love to hear feedback from some of the people that are on, do we do that enough? You know, it became a trend for everyone to have a slide, a screen in their sanctuary. You
Mhm.
agree, Dr. Bowie? It was kind of a trend,
Right.
but I don't think everyone understands the meaning behind why we
Right.
have
Right.
screens in the sanctuary.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, going with Candi said, Ontario, this is good stuff, man. Creativity is a language that moves beyond words. I never looked at creativity as a language. That just put everything, and it goes back, man, that was good. And I think, you know, graphics, and you correct me if I'm wrong, a good graphic for a sermon series or any type of, I guess, what you're trying to present should be less words, and the picture should tell the story. Am I correct or incorrect?
Yes. So it depends on what you want to depict, but usually, if you have the right picture, it or art,
Yeah.
then it could definitely, it's worth 1,000 words, like they say.
Yeah. And Candi will tell you, and you probably hear us talking about, we say we provide right side resources, and right side resources are creative, innovative, uncommon. Even when you had that picture of Peter, it was really a right side moment, because you said traditionally, you know, you got this blue-eyed, blonde-haired Jesus, and you
Mhm.
said that'd be accepted, but when you flipped it, that was right side. And I'm like, man, so thank you for sharing that. And I would love to get some of those, see how we can utilize that with SBC. And I don't know if you want to sell them, you copyright, I don't know, but that'd be something good for the church, because we don't depict a lot of those images. And it really keeps us, and you said this early on, from getting into the community.
Right.
You know, so, but thank you for that, man. That was some good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man. Yeah, yeah.
Going back to the comment about the screens, and the reason I brought that up is because I'm not sure that people really realize, and Antonio, I want you to kind of chime in, the reason why we utilize screens and visual objects while preaching and teaching. And we forget that a preacher is a teacher. And a teacher wants to teach to the students in every way that helps them to effectively learn.
Mhm.
And so we forget that everyone is not an audible learner.
Right.
There are people that are visual learners, they're kinesthetic learners. And so if we think beyond the words, then we can attract and effectively reach everyone.
Yeah, I agree. Because I was one of those people who couldn't concentrate through an entire sermon. After 15 minutes, like, you already lost me. So I think if I had something visual to look at, then that would definitely have my attention. So
With that,
Denise,
okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna read a quick comment, Dr.
Go ahead.
Boyd. Denise says that being a visual person, visual arts have added much to help my students to get it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Go ahead, Dr. Boyd.
So Ontario, in the midst of this disruption, this, I guess, post-COVID, do you see us using more of this? How do you see the next iteration of this phase of church? How do you see us using art in this frame of worship?
So I think a big shift happened. So I'm not sure when the church moved away from art, because if you look at a lot of old sanctuaries, it's filled with art. But something happened along the way, and preaching took over. Like that, I think that became the focus, the spoken word. But I think church has got to create space.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are out there and would love to find a space to create.
Yeah.
And I think that could be intergenerational, where people come together and create together. So,
Yeah.
But I would love to see us move toward some of that, because the traditional Bible studies are, they're dying because people want to see something different, which is why I started those other studies, because I find that it kept people more engaged. I mean, people still want to hear the scriptures and discuss the scriptures, but they want something else, another element added to it that will, touch a different part of your brain.
Give us some examples of one of your Bible studies.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. And because you talk about music too, I want to hear more what would experience look like.
So for the music part of it, I chose a space outside of the church because I wanted to be able to freely play what we considered secular music. Like a lot of secular artists, they draw reference from the Bible. And you'll see a lot of artists like Kendrick Lamar, for instance, with the crown on his head. There's like a lot of the elements from some of his videos are from the Bible. And like, what if we watch that video and discuss scriptures and see what is he trying to show us that's in the culture that's related to what Jesus was doing in the Bible. But people frown on that because they say it's secular and it's sinful and it's, but I feel like there's something there that could, probe a conversation.
Absolutely. That's really interesting. And we talk about so often, Dr. Boyd and I both hear people saying, how do we get our young people in church? How do we engage the young people? That's a prime example on how you can not only engage them, but teach them at the same time. Because there's an art that's missing, pun intended, but there's an art that's missing outside of just the visual art, but storytelling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of the depictions from the Bible in his videos and stuff are missing. The kids are missing it because they don't know these stories.
Right.
Even if you didn't go to church growing up, you heard your elders speak on the stories or quoted the scriptures. They told stories enough that you heard it and it was embedded. And so what you're saying visually and audibly, we can connect with our younger generation.
Absolutely. And you see a shift with art where it's the, artists, like there's a reason why kids are on Instagram and TikTok. It's the very visual element of it. They're not going on there to read, but they want to see something. Those images speak to them and tell a story, even if there's no words. And I just think the church used to be at the forefront of that, but like we gave that up.
How have congregations and communities utilize your gift? Are you getting a lot of people want to use stuff you're doing, or are they kind of hesitant still?
I think people are still not sure what to do with that.
Right.
Yeah. We're still, and a part of it is, a part of it, people are stuck in their ways and they're gonna ride the dead horse until it's dead. So until something drastic happens, I don't think people are gonna make a shift. But you could see that churches that make the shift and start doing more of these creative things, they're thriving and they're growing because they figure out like you gotta engage in different ways, step away from how we traditionally do it.
But I bet your wife, she's so excited how you pivoted, because it wasn't just the art you did, but how graphic is art. I mean, and that, and the stuff you do, man. But I think you had to pivot, but I think it's going to come a time where the church is going to have to shift, because what we do, it won't be engaging, because we're losing the market share of this generation. Is that Z, but it's one under that. They just, and what you're doing, man, I mean, it's crazy there. I was working out, listening to Kendrick Lamar. I'm 54. but it just kind of like, so, but I think that art, and you were saying an artist on, when someone's preaching, have somebody do, I think we need to do more of that too. That's
Absolutely.
real.
Yeah, it's very effective, from my experience. So I hope we could see a lot more of that.
Yeah, I think we should probably bring you back and let's give the people an example.
Right.
We're here to educate and encourage, and that's an educational moment. Allowing pastors and leaders to see how it can effectively be done.
Yeah.
So we would love to have you back. And if people don't know, Ontonio does a lot of our graphics for SBC 21. And personally, for my business, we're actually working on a project right now.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, everyone is raving about your work. Dr. Bowie says it all the time. Tell him great job. Tell him great job. So thank you for putting your heart and your passion into your work.
Absolutely.
Kevin Carr says yes, bring him back. Miss Carolyn said that this art is important because pastors want the congregation to leave and talk about what they saw and experienced in worship. So art and pictures is the key. She said, thank you so much. So we are excited about this element. This is taking things to the next level. This is doing ministry on the right side. Yeah. And so we are excited. Tell your friends, tell your family that this is coming. We're going to talk more about art and worship, doing art and visuals through Bible study. I think this is going to be amazing. And I'm really excited, Ontonio, to hear more, see more, give some examples. And so.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And if one of my gifts is encouragement, man, I want to encourage you, whoever shuts doors in your face, do more crazy stuff, because what's going to happen as you continue to dream, it's going to be another Ontario out there. Same way somebody opened a door for you, you got to keep doing it, because you're a renaissance man. You blazing trails that people hadn't done. So be encouraged, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's really what it feels like. So I receive that. Yeah.
But this is good stuff, man. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you sharing your gifts tonight. And yes, people, they said bring you back. He'll be back.
Absolutely.
And so tell the people again how they can find you, those that are looking for a designer for their business, for their churches, and looking for pieces of art.
So, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, you can look up Ontonio Christie with an O, Ontonio, Ontonio Christie. You can find my art at OntonioChristie.com. And you can find my web business is Happy Life Media Group. And that's where you can go and see all my design stuff, my flyers, logos, websites, all that good stuff. So if you need help with any of that, if your church needs help with websites, if you need to consult about how we can help you come up with an art program for your church, I would love to hear from you. So
Ontonio, would you be open, and you can talk to Candi offline, but we would love to have this as a resource, because we have this, this would be on demand, but we love to have on our resource page so people can come back and look at it. I love that piece with Peter, so they can see that this would really have people coming to our page also to see something different and what this whole light side is about. So I appreciate sharing this stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
All right, people, it is Friday Eve, and we are wishing you a good night and a great weekend. Worship God, not only on Sunday, but every day. Have a wonderful night and enjoy the week.
Thank you all.
God bless.